Hello, everyone. Welcome to MyWebUniversity, my YouTube channel. I'm going to provide you some basics of computer science related topics. And then this is due to a request of some of our favorite users that they are saying that at some point you need to have a lot of videos for basics as well as intermediate and advanced. Right now in my university mostly is intermediate level and advanced level. So I'm going to show you this video that I prepared for you for basic level. We start with what is a computer. So let's go with this video, and then we're going to just have some kind of graphic and all animation, and then showing that what is a computer. That's the topic of today's session. And then we're going to show you we have different type of computers. In this picture that as you can see on the screen, you have a desktop which is running Windows operating system. The operating system that runs on this desktop is Windows. And then on the left one, that is iMac, the hardware is iMac or Apple hardware. It's called all-in-one, and it's running Unix version of BSD, Mac OS X Darwin version. So, and you have a laptop here. The laptop is running Windows 8 operating system, which is, you can see the tabular form. And the laptop is a smaller computer compared to a desktop and an all-in-one computer. You also have iPad. The iPad is smaller than the laptop, and then you can see the size, and then the resources are also limited due to the size of the hardware and the cost. And then you have an iPhone, which is also running either Android or a Linux kind of operating system that is running Android software, and then usually running like if it's iPhone, it's Mac OS X kind of iPhone there. And then the different type of computers we have discussed, I'm going to show you now each one of the different type of computer. One type of a computer is called desktop computers. Desktop computer, you could have a desktop like this, or just on the right side, this one. The difference between the two, they're both called desktop, but the amount of resources and the shape, the color, the size, all that matters, and that they are different kind of maybe vendors, different hardware, and different models of the monitor, different kind of display setting, different size, and then the keyboard, the mouse, all of that one could be different. And then on the case that actually is running, you have a lot of resources which are called the motherboard. Inside the case board on the motherboard, you have attached a RAM, random access memory, which is memory, and then the CPU, central processing unit. All of these one, the central processing could be AMD, advanced micro devices, or it could be Intel architecture, or any kind of architecture of the processor, whether they're different sizes of what type of speed and everything that they have. And then on the top of it, on each of these personal computers, basically you have also, they're referred as PC, personal computer, because one person could have it. A laptop could also be called a personal computer. In this case, this laptop is running Windows operating system, and you could have a laptop that is running Apple software, which is Mac BSD, Mac OS X, and then the Apple laptop hardware could be MacBook Pro and all kind of different type of Apple products. So at this time, we're running a laptop running Windows operating system. You see an example of a laptop, which is Intel architecture in terms of processor, and then mostly could be Intel, could be Dell, could be HP, could be AMD processor, could be Intel. you're running it. And here you have an Apple laptop. Apple laptop usually runs the Apple hardware or Intel-based processor, and they are running Unix version of BSD, which is called Darwin, or Mac OS X. And then you have the Berkeley Software Distribution BSD version running on an Apple software. And then you have another type of computer, and that's called minicomputer. Minicomputer is because of its compact size. Basically, it is limited with resources, but even though it is compact, it has a lot of resources, which is really done well with this company that made it. Intel is the processor, i7, that the one that I have is i7 Intel, and with a processor has 8 cores. And then I'll show you the details as soon as this one is done, so you can see all the detailed information. But at the meantime, this has some kind of USB drives and some kind of mini drive, and the power supply, and then power cord, and everything is all available on this compacted computer. So this mini computer, which is kind of like between the servers in a desktop, in a laptop kind of information, that you could install like a lot of resources that are available for it. And then based on that one, you can run a mini computer that works like a server or a workstation or a client machine. So at this time, I'm going to show you the all-in-one computer, which is similar to the mini computer, but all-in-one also has a display here. The display is also included. And so the display, the monitor actually has on the back of it the entire motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and then the peripheral devices, the network card, the USB ports, everything that you can connect a keyboard and a mouse, or a keyboard and a mouse wireless, and that doesn't have to have connection here. You can see that this is wireless keyboard. And then the funny thing is that Apple, when they send this all-in-one, if you go and purchase one at the time, I remember 2006, I was trying to purchase one. And then that iMac, they did not come up with a monitor. I'm sorry, it did not come out with a keyboard and a mouse. And why I'm saying the funny part is that because it's called all-in-one, they say that, well, and the keyboard and mouse is separate. You have to purchase it. It's like, well, you give me a car without the tires, and then that's not called all-in-one, because you have to purchase a separate piece in order to operate it. But this is another type of hardware that could be Intel architecture running here, and then it comes. And most of the Apple iMac stuff nowadays, they have a keyboard and mouse next to it, to make sure that if you have not previously had a mouse and keyboard, you can purchase one, and that works with the system that you purchased, and it is all included there. So too much for all-in-one kind of information. And now we're seeing another type of hardware, which is called, or computers, that's called servers. Because they serve to the clients, that's why they are called server. They serve some sort of database, it's called a database server, some kind of web application that is called web server, or just any application that is running, whether on the web or non-web, it's called application server. So you are making a client request, and then through the web server or through the database server or application server, the client request is responded. The actual computation is done on the server side. And then the data that is returned back to the client is just data that is computed at the server side. And then sometimes you also have this network interface. It's like almost like the chef or the person who does the serving, the cook in the kitchen, all that is happening, the client makes a request saying order, the waiter takes the information, in this case the waiter is the network, and then goes to the server side, the chef prepares that, and it does the computation on the server side. So without the chef, the server will not be able to serve, and so that's the server is in this case the chef, and the waiter that is taking the request comes back to the client and then takes the order. But at this time, if you see this message here, should this exist, this network interface, sometimes because of security issues, sometimes even though you're running SSL and HTTPS and all kind of protocol to make sure that the data between client and server is encrypted, you still need to just put some of the database server or application server behind the firewall. So the web server, a hacker tried to connect in between the client and the server and is sniffing data. They are not able to just read the data in clear text format. So that's why you're doing encryption, SSL certificate, HTTPS. But at the same time, if you have the connection between a database server and a web server, this is questionable, because if you have not done like a two-factor authentication or some kind of SSL certification, or even if you did that one, do you want somebody to just connect to the web server and through SQL injection or some sort of vulnerability that is on your system, they can just do some kind of buffer overflow or SQL injection or some sort of statement that could run with multiple syntax that allows on your web server and to just read the data on the database. So those kind of information, you have to protect your server behind the firewall. And then if you have this kind of connection, make sure that SQL injection and then other kind of vulnerabilities are not being open to the hackers, so that they cannot just come in through a web server, make a request saying, go to googlesearch.com and then while I'm searching on docs, run this other command with semicolon or something that is reading more data from the database or deleting a record. So those ones are called SQL injection and or buffer overflow, that you're just adding more records to it, and then those kind of information should be protected. That's why this is questionable, how you want to protect it through the web server, all the connection to the database. If the connection goes through the application and then the client makes a request to the web server make a request to the application, and the application on behalf of your login and password makes the connection, and still the buffer overflow cannot be just tampered in that way, that if that vulnerability exists through the application, people could access your database server. So that's something that you have to put firewall and protection, other mechanisms, IP tables, firewall D, IPF, or whatever, Windows IP table, IP firewalls, daemon, everything. You just have to protect your system. So at this time, we discussed this video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you subscribe to our channel and make some more comments so I could fulfill your needs. And then that's my job, to just make sure that if you're going to college, or you're going to a community college or any job, university, you're learning computer science related courses, or doing some work with computer, doing any kind of computation, I could just help you out with a lot of these videos, as well as a lot of technical documentation that I have for you on this website. You can see that there's a lot of them, and some of them are a full course, some of them are thousands of PDF files that I generated, like Linux manual pages in PDF. This is just about 6,500 technical documentation on MyWebUniversity available. So all you have to do is go to mywebuniversity.com. You don't have to have Linux or Linux Ubuntu or anything running. It is running on my cloud. You just need an internet access and a web browser. Come in on chapter 8 of this book, and you see all these thousands of technical documentation. Each one of them you click on, you will get a PDF file for it. So if you just click on the file, and if it is too big, obviously it will just take a little bit, but it is a PDF format. So depending on where you click on, you get a file there. And if you just are interested on searching for, let's say, Python, and you say, I want it only Python 3, then you could just click on this and then look at Python 3. And if you say, well, what about the older version? Because there's something that I want to know about older version. Let me just make a little bit bigger, this one. You can see when I type in Control F, I can search for Python, I can search for this, it will say 12, 1 of 12. But if I want only Python 2, then I could just get that one here and then read about Python 2. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you are going to subscribe and make some more comments, and so that way I can better serve you. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.